So next we move on to our first medical professional talk. We have Dr. Arka Ghosh with us. He's going to talk on gene therapy and research development in muscular dystrophy. He is an HOD at GROW Research Laboratory and working for gene therapy in Narayana Nethralaya Lab. The GROW Research Laboratory focus on understanding the genetic and molecular signaling mechanisms driving pathogenesis of ocular disorders and cancers. The gene therapy platform focuses on recombinant adeno-associated virus as the transfer vehicle. So now I hand over to Dr. Arka Ghosh for his speech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. So, yes, may I ask some question from sir? Yes, sir. Would you like to?
I think let Dr. Ghosh complete his talk and then we do question answers. That would be better.
Yeah. Let's mute ourselves. Thank you. Dr. Arka, I think you need to unmute yourself once. By mistake, we have muted you. I think you need to go back from your screen to the Zoom. Yeah. Or we'll try and unmute you. Sure.
Reasons. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you, Anuba, Mr. Kajaria, and Ayush Kama Foundation for inviting me today. And it's great to see all the warriors and all the patients here today. So today I'll give a general overview of what's happening with muscular dystrophy research and clinical trials, and what are the challenges that face us in order to bring this therapy in India. So I belong to the Narayana Nethralaya Foundation. The GROW Research Laboratory is a picture of the institute. We are based in Bangalore. So to start off with, gene therapy is a method of fixing the mutated genes, right? So there are several different approaches for it. The most common approach, the approach that is going to be applicable to muscle disease primarily, is going to be the compensation of a mutant copy of the gene by a good copy of the gene. So this good copy of the gene needs to be delivered into your muscle cells, into each and every one of your muscle cells, and that is where the challenges really lie. So we use what are called vectors, which can be both of viral or non-viral origin, and that is used to deliver the correct copy of the gene into your cells. So of the different approaches that I've listed here, there's the one that I've talked to you. There's another one that's quite interesting, is exon skipping or read-through of codons. So this is something that a lot of you would know of. Sarepta had brought it out. And also in Europe, there's quite a few of these therapies which are showing some amount of promise. In case of cancers, though, we rely more on the change of the gene regulation. So the cancer-causing genes can be regulated using other genes. So it's not as simple as replacing the mutated gene. Now, around the world, there's lots of human clinical trials happening. large majority of them are using retro and adenoviruses because these matured to a clinical level before AAVs did. But AAVs definitely are currently the gold standard because of a variety of reasons. I'll touch on them as we go along. Bulk of these trials are happening in the United States and in the European countries. Quite a few in China and Japan now, however, none in India. The focus of most of these trials is cancer. As you can see, almost 2/3 of it is in cancer. But a large majority that's in this gray pie is in monogenic diseases, and all the muscular dystrophies typically fall under the monogenic disease category. And of course, by phase of gene therapy, most of the trials are in the early phases, but there's quite a few which have now entered late phase trials. I'm sure a lot of you have followed the good news coming from the 2E trial. So here's a list of all the approved cell and gene therapies. The blue box is mostly cell therapies. These are more for hematological disorders, a lot of cord blood products and things like that. But the orange box is what's most interesting. So these are, so except for Gendicin and Glybera, all the others have essentially been approved by FDA for, or EMA for the therapies in the last 3 to 4 years only. So a lot of activity has been happening. A lot of products are getting through trials and coming out to clinical usage now. Of these, Luxturna, which is for an eye disease, a blindness called Leber's congenital maurosis, and Zolgensma, which is for spinal muscular atrophy. These two are AAV based, which have come out most recently and show a lot of promise. So a lot of companies are now, there's more than 120 gene therapy companies now around the world. And they have a lot of products, including treatments for muscular diseases that are in late phase clinical trials or early phase clinical trials. So in order to do gene therapy, you obviously need to know the gene which is mutated. And that's where LGMD is so complex compared to, say, DMD, where the gene mutation is always in the dystrophin gene. So LGMD is essentially, the phenotypes are overlapping across many different kinds of mutations in different genes. So that makes it a challenge for gene therapy also, because for each gene that you need a therapy for, you need to do a separate trial. It's not like you could do one gene and it's going to be applicable to all LGMD types. So this is a more recent classification of LGMD. The previous slide was showing all the genes associated with the different kinds. This is more on LGMD2. And this is how your muscles change when each of these genes are mutated. But the point essentially that we want to drive is that this makes this broad number of genes, different kinds of genes, different kinds of mutations, makes it an extra challenge to get therapies out. So what people mostly do is they focus on the ones that are most easily amenable to current treatment modalities, and also which have the maximum amount of application. So while it is unfair to an extent, but the genes which are mutated rarely, which have very few patients, typically take a back seat. So this cartoon here is to just educate all of you that in our muscles there is a complex machinery that allows you to move your fingers, to move any part of your body, and that includes so many genes and so many proteins working in tandem together, responding to the stimulus, to what your brain tells you to do. It's astonishing. So the key cellular components that we try to look at when we are going to devise therapies are primarily the DAG, the dystrophin-associated glycoprotein complex, the dystroglycan, sarcoglycan complexes, and these T tubules and the Z discs, etc., which actually allow your muscles to function, to move. So in order to study these, you need animal models, and this is a list of the various LGMD animal models that are available. And although there's a large number that is available now, it still doesn't cover all the different kinds of mutations that are seen in patients. So obviously, without a model that shows the patient's phenotype of the disease, or how the disease is presented in patients, it's very difficult to know whether your therapy is working in animal models. And animal models are essential before you can get to human trials. So those are sort of the limitations that we have to bear in mind when we are thinking about bringing out therapies. So what do we work on? We work on AAV vectors, and these vectors are literally the gold standard for gene therapy right now. They can provide efficient delivery and high levels of sustained expression. So at least amongst the different viral vectors, the toxicity and the immune reactions are much lesser comparatively in AAV. Of course, in recent times, we have seen that very, very high doses of the vector can actually be quite harmful. It can elicit immune reaction. The challenge with AAV typically is its production. It's not as easy to produce as adenoviruses or lenti or retroviruses. So the question when I started working on it several years ago was, can the viral vector work all over the body? So we did a single injection in animals through a tail vein. And what we found was, so the animals that got the vector, so this is a reporter gene which gives you this dark purple color. And you can see that all over the body, in all muscle types, including the heart and the diaphragm, a single vector dosage can actually deliver and express the gene that you are sending in. So this was true even for dogs. In the dog muscles, we were able to show that gene therapy, a single injection can show quite good expression in different kinds of muscles. But again, we also found that there is a window in which this will work. So once you are adult, there is a chance that there would be an immune reaction. So the immune reaction, if then the gene will not express properly. Whereas in children, so this is in pups, in the dogs, you can see pretty good expression without immune-mediated suppression of the expression. So we tested out so we work on something called the dual vectors for dystrophin, etc. So microgenes, mini genes. So these we have published before in animals, and this is from an animal model of DMD, which is the MDX mouse. And what you can see, these fluorescent green coloring that you can see in these muscle fibers, those are dystrophin. And so in this case, this is a microdystrophin, and this is a mini dystrophin that was expressed in mouse muscle. So at least in animal models, these work quite well. And so the work was done in my alma mater, University of Missouri, in my mentor's lab. And there the work continued. And what we know now is that a lot of these vectors that were developed for DMD are now in clinical trials. The patient group typically is more adept in finding these information out. So you would know these trials from Solid Biosciences, Pfizer, Sarepta, etc. So what about LGMD? So there are quite a few clinical trials running for LGMD. You can see type 2C, type 2D, type 2E. These trials are running. Almost all of them are using some form of an adeno-associated viral vector. Most of them are doing direct intramuscular injections, particularly multiple injections per okay, now you can hear me. So, so all of these injections are typically direct intramuscular injections, whereas in case of DMD, all the trials are with intravenous injections. So that's a big difference. What we focus on typically, what our technical focus is on, is making transgenes. So essentially, we have certain patented systems called dual vectors, and we make microgenes. So these are, we are currently applying to dystrophin for developing a variety of different dystrophin vectors. We also work on regulation of these genes, where we are trying to generate tissue-specific promoters. These are applicable not just for muscle disease, but for eye disease also, since we work quite heavily with eye disease. And the third and the most important thing is that we are currently working on developing the vector production processes. So our work in DMD is funded by PPMD, where we are making microdystrophins and minidystrophins. And we are also working on GNE myopathy, where it is funded by WWGM. So we have been working with patient groups trying to develop these therapies indigenously in India. For the clinical, actual clinical trial, we need to make clinical grade vectors. And this is first of its kind vector, a CGMP vector production facility that has been developed in our institute. And this is just a peek into the vector facility that we have. So these are class 100 clean rooms. So there cannot be any dirt, any particles in there. And so right now the facility looks slightly more different. There's a lot more instrumentation and everything. So we are fairly well set up to do at least the eye gene therapy human trials at this point. For the muscle disease, the challenge is that the vector dosage required is much higher, so it requires upscaling. So we are working towards getting that done as well. Late last year, the gene therapy guidelines, the national guidelines, has been released by the Department of Health Research and ICMR, and this is very important to read for everybody who is interested in gene therapy, not just the scientists, but also the clinicians, the patient advocacy people. So there's a lot of information in this guidelines, so that would be helpful, I think. And the gist of it is that the gene therapy product approval process is, I've outlined this here. So from a trial, you have to get the approvals of these different bodies, which include RCGM, the ethics committees, the gene therapy apex body, the GTAEC, and then finally from the CDESCO, which is our Indian FDA, to start the trials. So essentially, if we were to think about an LGMD trial, what would we do? So this is like a general layout. You need to know the natural history of the patient's disease, all the medical history. You also need to know the gene mutation. And for the actual AAV-mediated trials, you need to know neutralizing antibody titers, and whatever other relevant comorbidities that may hinder the trial or may hinder the patient well-being. So all those things need to be known. So as parents, advocacy group members, where should you be placed if a gene therapy trial does start? You need to know the genetic test and have detailed medical records. So remember, first in human trials are always very, very picky, and they require as much medical history, as detailed medical history as possible, because we want to minimize the risk of any kind of adverse reactions. So blood tests, neutralizing antibody titers, all of this needs to be provided. And you as caregivers or as patients must also look at your holistic well-being. So it has to be both your daily routine, your exercise, your physiotherapy, your mental health. All of these things must be followed. And you must be ready for very long trials, because muscle disease trials are fairly long. These have to have multi-year follow-ups, and there has to be lots of tests that need to be done, which might seem very cumbersome at times, but you must comply. So with that, I'd like to thank my team and my funding sources and my collaborators, and that's our department. So I'd be happy to take any questions if you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arka. It was really insightful to look at the real picture of your lab and everything. I was really amazed to see it. So I hope we have some questions in the chat box as well. So we'll be answering the questions at around 12:30 probably. Dr. Arka, are you there by 12:30? There are a lot of questions for you actually.
Okay.
I think most of the questions are for Dr. Arka Ghosh.
We have received a few questions in our registration forms, and yeah, so we'll be dictating one by one. So Dr. Priyanshu has joined back.
Okay. You let me know whenever you're ready. We can do the question answer.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, so let us take the questions then for Dr. Arka Ghosh. Doctor, please can you help us with the questions?
Sure.
Thank you, Kaidi.
Hello. So, hi, my name is Rhythm. So, I'll be putting forward queries on the behalf of all the warriors and their family members, which we have received in the form of our registration form.
Okay.
So, the first query that we have is from Pallavi. She wants to know that is there any treatment or research going on about Bethlem or Ullrich myopathy, as condition is deteriorating fast?
Not that I know of, but I don't know about every gene therapy study that's going on out there.
Yeah, I think Bethlem myopathy is a form of LGMD only, but we are not able to currently see any research. I have not come across also.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe we can take the next question.
Okay, so we have the next question from Murli. So he wants to know that stem cell therapy is useful for DMD patients. So his son is taking 51 exon skipping medicine for which is very helpful for his son. So he wants to know that if he used the skipping medicine, is he eligible for other treatments like gene editing, micro dystrophin, etc., if they are available?
Right. So probably at the time of trial, no, because if he's already on genetic modifier therapy, you're typically excluded just so that you do not have confounding results or any adverse events related to it at the end of the day. Eventually when you have an approved therapy and all, so at that point maybe you will be able, you can take it, but there will definitely have to be a certain wash off period between once you stop taking a certain kind of therapy and then you move to the next kind of therapy. So for genetic therapies, that's the case. But that having been said, the exon skipping drugs, they do not last for too long. So your washout period might not be too long. Unlike gene therapies, where once you have it, it's going to stay, the gene is typically going to stay there for several years. So that, I guess, is a benefit of using the exon skipping therapies.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Arka, for the answer. I hope it answers. Yeah, we can carry forward.
Yeah, so I hope his query is cleared. So the next question that we have is from Akshata. She wants to know that is there something related to congenital muscular dystrophy that has come up to?
Well, what gene is she talking about? Because most of the muscular dystrophies are, childhood.
Like she has just mentioned this. She has just mentioned. She has not mentioned about any particular gene.
Okay, then maybe I think might be FKRP or something. Okay, we'll cross check with.
She also
yeah, we'll cross check over mail.
She also
for that,
wants.
Yeah.
She also wants to know that is every type of MD genetic, or are there any special cases?
Yes.
Yeah, so most of them are, but you can get certain kinds of muscle diseases due to other infections or other things that can disrupt. So that's, myopathy is because of infections or drug, severe, reactions to drugs and things like that. But in case of muscular dystrophies that we typically talk about, almost all of them are genetic, inherited in some form or the other.
Akshata writes in the chat box that she has congenital MD.
Pardon me, I couldn't hear it.
Akshata writes in the chat box that she has congenital MD.
Right. If she can specify a little bit more on what kind of MD it is, then it's easier to answer. So it can be DMD, BMD, LGMD, lots of different kinds. So would it be due to various injections my mother had during pregnancy? Unlikely. At least there's no scientific evidence of that for that.
Okay, so I hope she has an idea about it. Rest we can clear over the call. The last question that we have from one of the warrior is Avnash, that will the carrier child show any type of symptoms in the recessive type?
Typically, they don't. There's no. So that in recessive, the carriers don't show any symptoms. So you have to understand how the recessive works. He was talking about, Dr. Mathur was saying, you have 2 copies of every gene. So in recessive, both the copies have to go bad. Then only you have the disease. Even if you have 1 copy, okay, you won't get the disease. Whereas in dominant, any 1 copy goes mutant and you still have the disease. Okay.
Okay. I hope that we have almost
I have
answered
one
every
query.
question.
Can I ask that?
May I have one question, sir?
Sure.
It
Sir,
will be, yeah, you can answer one by one. You can ask one by one or either put in the chat box.
I'm waiting for long time, sir. Myself, Rohit Tiwari from Raipur, Chhattisgarh, sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, may I speak in Hindi?
हाँ, बोलिए.
सर जैसे कि मैं मस्कुलर लिम्ब गार्डन मस्कुलर डिस्ट्रॉफी से सर 15 साल से पीड़ित हूँ, है ना? और सर जैसे आगे अभी राइट नाउ अभी तक के इसकी कोई मेडिसिन निकली नहीं है, तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ सर स्टेम सेल थेरेपी या जीन थेरेपी के लिए जाया जाए कि उसमें कोई ड्रॉबैक, उसके कोई साइड इफेक्ट्स मेरे किडनी लीवर में ऐसा कोई साइड इफेक्ट ना पड़े, ऐसा कोई है कुछ? मैं रेगुलर सर फिजियोथेरेपी योगा मैं बराबर कर रहा हूँ और इसमें इसका प्रोग्रेशन रेट मैं रोक सकता हूँ बाय फिजियोथेरेपी एंड योगा. इसका प्रोग्रेशन रेट है मैं थोड़ा सा स्लो कर सकता हूँ. बट अभी भी सर मेरे को थोड़ा शोल्डर्स में प्रॉब्लम है. राइट नाउ आई केम इन व्हीलचेयर. 23 years एज तक के सर मैं बिल्कुल नॉर्मल था. आई वाज अ नॉर्मल पर्सन. So any medicine related to this disease is coming to in our country?
देखिए काफी सारे ट्रायल्स तो हो रहे हैं. I mean apart from steroids and that kind of anti-inflammatories. तो जीन थेरेपी फिलहाल जो ट्रायल्स आपके एलजीएमडी के लिए हो रहा है वो तो डायरेक्ट मसल में इंजेक्ट हो रहा है. तो उसमें फिर आपके लिवर या किडनी को कोई प्रॉब्लम होने की चांसेस कम है. जब हम डायरेक्टली ब्लड में देते हैं तो तब लिवर किडनी डैमेज के चांसेस ज्यादा होते हैं, बिकॉज लिवर और किडनी हम लोगों का ब्लड को ये करते हैं ना, मतलब फिल्टर आउट करते हैं उसमें से जो भी
प्यूरिफाई करते हैं.
सो तो सारा जो दवाई है, सारा वेक्टर्स है, ये दवाइयों में भी होता है. आप कोई भी दवाई ज्यादा लेंगे तो आपका लिवर नहीं होता है ना. लिवर एंड किडनीज दे गेट अफेक्टेड. तो सेम थेरेपी में भी वही है. तो आप जैसे ही दवाई दोगे तो वो वहां जाएगा.
Yes sir, because of this disease. Yes sir, because of this disease I am suffering from diabetes also, sir.
Right. Yeah.
So that's me, sir. One question is there. For a long multivitamin is useful for a long time for muscular dystrophy patient. It is very helpful. Multivitamins tablets are.
का ये सारा जो डिस्कशन है वो थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, क्योंकि सदियों से लोग बोल रहे हैं मल्टीविटामिन ले लो, ये जड़ी बूटी ले लो, वो ये ले लो. वो सारी चीजें काम करती हैं. मेरा ऐसा मानना है कि सारी चीजें थोड़ा काम करती हैं. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि वो एक चीज से आपका सब ठीक हो जाएगा. तो आई एम अ बिग प्रोपोनेंट कि होलिस्टिकली सारे चीजों को अप्रोच करना चाहिए. आपका जो फिजियोथेरेपी है, मेंटल स्टेट है, खाना है, सोना है, दोस्त है, सब कुछ मायने रखता है. तो मल्टीविटामिन भी उनमें से एक है. ठीक है, मल्टीविटामिन से आपका डिजीज बंद हो जाएगा ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, बट उसके प्रोग्रेशन रेट्स में भी कम हो सकते हैं. आपको स्पेसिफिकली अगर कोई कंडीशन अफेक्ट, कोमॉर्बिड कंडीशन अफेक्ट कर रही है, मे बी उसमें मदद कर देगी वो. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग. एंड योर अदर क्वेश्चन अबाउट सेल थेरेपी. तो सेल थेरेपी में दस फार जो डायरेक्ट मसल इंजेक्शन है वही काम करता है. तो लॉट ऑफ तो टू द पेशेंट कम्युनिटी आई वुड से कि यू हैव टू बी केयरफुल अबाउट सेल थेरेपी, क्योंकि मुझे पता है हमारे देश में बहुत लोग स्टेम सेल्स बेचते हैं और उसका थेरेपी बेचते हैं. देयर इज नो एविडेंस कि ये एक्चुअली मसल में जाके कोई काम करता है. ठीक है, लोगों ने ट्राई किया है ऑफिशियल क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स, एंड इन द क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स बेनिफिट बहुत मिला नहीं. तो इसलिए बट अभी भी देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ग्रुप्स अराउंड द वर्ल्ड जो इस पे काम कर रहे हैं. जैसे वो कैथरीन वैगनर का ग्रुप है व्हिच इज डूइंग सम फेनोमेनल वर्क. तो आशा है कि दे विल बी सक्सेसफुल इन ताकि वो होम करके टिश्यू के अंदर पहुंच पाए सेल्स. हेलो, दैट इज स्टिल वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस.
सर जैसे कोई बच्चा सर जिसका जीन ही नहीं है, जैसे बच्चा बाय बर्थ पैदा हुआ है, उसका जीन मिलना तो मुश्किल है, तो सर उसके लिए फिर कैसे करेंगे?
तो वही, ये एक बहुत बड़ा डिस्कशन है इन द फील्ड कि जेनेटिक टेस्टिंग इन व्हाट केसेस शुड इट बी मेड मैंडेटरी पोस्टनेटली. ठीक है, तो क्योंकि हमें इतना तो पता है 100% कि जीन थेरेपी कोई भी थेरेपी इट वर्क्स बेस्ट इन अर्ली स्टेजेस ऑफ द डिजीज. ठीक है, आपका डिजीज वंस एक बार वो बहुत ज्यादा प्रोग्रेस कर गया कि वो जीन थेरेपी से ठीक करने के लिए हमारे पास मटेरियल ही नहीं बचा.
यस सर.
तो वो कोई भी काम नहीं करता. इट्स द सेम थिंग इन कैंसर्स. फॉर एग्जांपल, आप अर्ली स्टेज कैंसर अगर देखोगे बहुत हाई है सर्वाइवल रेट्स, जबकि लेट स्टेज कैंसर में हार्डली कुछ सर्वाइवल रेट है. That is true for all conditions. So your question is very right, and this is something that I mean everywhere people are considering is key genetic testing, when it should be done, for what kinds of diseases should it be made mandatory. जैसे हमारा वैक्सीन मैंडेटरी होता है, जैसे there are certain tests which are also mandatory. So So that is a big debate, and hopefully, if you ask me from a genetics point of view, what I'll say is that indeed things like, say, DMD or clotting disorders or early onset blindness, ये तो immediate testing होना ही चाहिए उसका, ताकि उसके लिए जो भी treatments available हो या जो भी थोड़ा बहुत possibilities है उसको manage करने के, वो जल्द से जल्द शुरू हो पाए उन patients में.
Sir, one last question is there from my side, sir. Sir, which is the best gene or stem cell institute in our India?
Stem cell and gene institute in India. Actually, ऐसा institute करके नहीं बता सकते हैं. But because lots of institutes में अलग-अलग लोग हैं who are doing extremely good work. So you have to go by laboratory. आप उनके publications देखिए, उनके talks जो देते हैं वो उससे आपको पता चलेगा ज़्यादा. ऐसा institute पर से बताना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. सभी institute में अच्छे researchers हैं, so.
Yeah, sir, we have high hopes with
Unity.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit sir, for the questions, and thank you, Dr. Arka, for answering
Glad
to the best. So let's try, and since we are a little late, I hope we can answer rest of the questions through mail, if any need be. So I just have one query, Dr. Arka, that like we are receiving such good news from Sarepta about LGMD2E and everything. So like how is it helpful for our research if we are doing it? So does that give some more hopes to us?
Absolutely. So जैसे for the DMD work that we are trying, we hope to raise funds and get to clinical trial. So when the proposal is going to be discussed by the committee, it is always good to have somebody else, even if it's in a different disease, show that a similar approach has worked. So that gives a more positive reaction, and that also gives us a little more faith that yes, indeed there is a bigger, greater chance that what we are proposing is going to work. So
hello.
Great. Hello. So let's take up next panelist. Dear, you can put your question in the chat box. Thank you, Dr. Arka, for answering all, and definitely we have good hopes for it.
The chat box. So
yeah, okay.
Ask them or what? Or
there are some questions.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you want to take one or two, that's fine.
So this is from Mr. Natraj.
Natraj, yeah.
He's asking if he'll be eligible for gene therapy. Yes, certainly eligible for gene therapy. If yes, can we register his name for gene therapy trials, and how? So we haven't yet started our trials. So for DMD, the work is being done with PPMD, and I guess they are maintaining a registry of patients who of DMD patients. So at the time when the trials are going to be announced, that will be announced, and obviously the trial will be done in phases. So patients will be selected on the basis of a range of clinical things that I was talking about in my presentation. So yes, you can get in touch with PPMD and keep track of when the trials start.
Dr. Arka, can you listen to me?
Yes.
Is my voice okay? Fine?
Yes. Go ahead.
I've been listening. Just like to say that I'm a member of a huge core group on WhatsApp groups who are trying to reach out to you, and to all those group members, you are a huge messiah. So these people are having a huge, very big hope on you. Very, very big hope on you that tomorrow clinical trials should start. Everybody is looking up to you. WhatsApp groups have done such a fantastic job. People are amazingly aware of so many things happening around, and they all want they all want to start clinical trials right here in India. And in your presentation, you made a point, and I'll just switch over to Hindi for the benefit of all other people, audience, so that it will be helpful. And you're speaking such amazing Hindi, and of course, people from Bengal do speak good Hindi. Nothing, no this thing about that. आरका जी, आपको मैं ये बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि आपके ऊपर बहुत सारे लोगों की बड़ी उम्मीदें रखी गई हैं। जैसे CSR के बारे में कहा गया कि बहुत सारा फंड्स लोग लेकर आना चाह रहे हैं, और कई सारे लोग मुझसे, मेरे जरिए हम लोग भी कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो आपके रिक्वायरमेंट्स है कल की तारीख में, वो रिक्वायरमेंट्स जैसे टेक्निकल सपोर्ट के लिए आपने बताया कि एनिमल मॉडल पहले करेंगे आप, और उसके बाद आप क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स की तरफ आना चाहेंगे। तो सबसे पहले जैसे आप DMD कर रहे हैं, तो चाहिएगा कि आप अपने रिक्वायरमेंट्स बताएं। तो बहुत सारे कोर ग्रुप्स हैं, जैसे खासतौर से DMD में। तो मैं आपसे विनती कर रहा हूं कि आप DMD के प्रति, जैसे एक्सॉन स्किपिंग जैसे 51 वाले हैं, जो भी मेजर पोर्शन ऑफ पीपल है, उनके सारों की एंट्री है लोगों के पास, वो एंट्री लेकर लिस्ट आपके पास आ सकती है। तो आप उस जीन की तरफ जाएं, फिर उसके बाद कैल्पिनोपैथी है या कोई भी दूसरा, उसकी तरफ आप आ सकते हैं। तो सारा देश बहुत बड़ी रूप में, बड़े इसमें आपकी तरफ बढ़ रहा है। आपकी तरफ बहुत बड़ी उम्मीदें हैं हमारी सबकी, और हम चाहेंगे कि आप जरूर आगे बढ़ें। आप इस फोरम पे जो टाइम आपने स्पेंड किया बहुत ही बढ़िया है सर। आप रियली, आई डोंट नो मैं कैसे बताऊं आपको कि लोगों की,
आई फील हम्बल, मतलब आप लोग मुझे भी सभी पेशेंट ग्रुप से इंटरेक्ट करके बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है। लाइक उम्मीद बनाए रखें, और मैं ये कहूँगा कि हाँ, हम लोग तो पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं, और साथ में मिलके और भी तेजी से ये ट्रायल्स आए, ये हमारी भी उम्मीद है। एट द सेम टाइम मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि आपके सारे जो पेशेंट्स हैं उनको सबको बोलिएगा कि हाँ, जीन थेरेपी is certainly the most hopeful treatment, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ बाकी जो होलिस्टिक चीजें हैं जो मैं मेंशन किया अभी, वो सारी चीजें भी करनी है आपको। आप सबको पॉजिटिव रहना है, एंड अपने सेहत की तरफ जो जो कर सके थोड़ा बहुत, वो सारी चीजें करनी चाहिए। तो ताकि जब तक के जीन थेरेपी आए तब तक के आपका डिजीज भी ज्यादा प्रोग्रेस ना हो।
श्योर सर। लास्ट एक ही बात कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि वो ये है कि पेशेंट्स की तरफ से बहुत सारा यूनिफिकेशन हो रहा है, और रिक्वायरमेंट के जरिए जैसे अभी आज जो ऑर्गेनाइज किए हैं, ये लोग भी सारा डिटेल्स लेंगे। मैं आपसे यही कहना चाह रहा हूँ सर कि आप यू प्लीज आप अपना प्रायोरिटी वाइज आप बोलिए कि वेल I like to go for such and such clinical trial first, and take a pick something which will be feasible. I said.
ये I have mentioned this to Anubha also, कि जैसे LGMD में there are so many genes, right? तो 20-22 genes हैं, तो population wise वो mutations का segregation कैसा है हमारे country में, ये जानना जरूरी है, ताकि we can make a priority list, जिसके जरिए we can make the decision कि कौन सा थेरेपी पहले आना पड़ेगा, फिर दूसरा, फिर तीसरा।
Yes, sir. Definitely, we are trying to get that good registry, and I assure you all that definitely we are putting our efforts in collecting funds, and by the end of the year, we'll try and have something in our hand so that we can start with something next year starting. So we have really good hopes. Thank you, Maqbool Ahmed sir, for your considerations, and we are glad that people have such good hopes.